So I've done an hour and a half session with people today, and it's covering the sort of physical side of yoga, mental side of yoga, sort of control of nerves, emotional management. So I've given people an introduction to breathing, introduction to the kind of physical stretching work, and also some things like visualisation to take them through control of nerves and so on. The way that we work is that it's not just general yoga, this is sport-specific yoga. So when we work in a sport, we can deliver work which is specific to that sport. So we look at the sport. Let's take, for example, fencing. I've worked with the fencers this week, and so we look at what physical movements they make, so what their body requires. Do they need good balance? Do they need good lunging, which obviously fencers do? And then we look at what physical work we can apply to help develop some of those skills. We then look at whether they have issues in competition with, for example, controlling their nerves, or all that waiting around they have to do with between matches and so on. What techniques can we give them to sort of control their minds, because your mind easily gets distracted in situations like that, which makes the nerves worse. And we look at how we can help build their endurance with breathing and so on, and increasing their breathing capacity, which helps them just last longer when they're training and helps with recovery and so on. So we look at it in a sport-specific way, and then we deliver things which are sport-specific. Particularly for those who came to the Friday evening session, and also went to the session on mindfulness today, that is a big take-home message, that yoga is a way to access that mindfulness, so that it's really the opposite of competition. Yoga is not about competition, it's about being able to apply the techniques and get some of the benefits out of it whilst you're kind of not in a competitive situation. So it's something which is different from normal training, because you're not trying to get there and achieve a time or achieve a distance or achieve a result or whatever, but it's the kind of stuff that you do around the edges which is going to make a difference to actually helping you achieve that in the end. So it's a kind of a bit of a, if you like, it's a way of background stuff that helps set the scene and put your body and mind in that place, which is going to help you then perform in your sport. It's been really great. It's been so good to talk to different coaches in different sports. It's a privilege to work with people across such a range of sports, very talented people. And I think it's a great way for coaches to learn from each other. I've certainly learned a lot from the coaches in the individual sports. They seem to learn from each other, which is great. The more we can get the coaches learning from each other, we've got a kind of self-fulfilling community, which I think is great. So I think that's the best thing about the conference, that people have learned from each other.
I thought the yoga was brilliant, because I had done some yoga myself, but just purely as a yoga participant. But what Anthea did is she showed us how it linked in to being a sports person, and she showed us some really good ways of preventing things happening, like injuries, and also some really good ways of strengthening the various bits that you need to strengthen depending on what your sport was. And there was loads there for badminton, that obviously have been able to take away the various moves.